Hey Slayers, it's Tiana A.K.A. the Swagslayer over the Poshmark Swagslayer closet, still doing the $20,000 debt payoff challenge using Poshmark. I wanted to come to you guys today to talk about the new rollout that the CEO has put out in regards to collecting state taxes on items sold on Poshmark. So if you're up to hear about that, stay tuned. Don't want to forget to remind everybody that I am doing the Kate Spade Hayden Run Wild Collection bag and wallet set giveaway. Check out the video linked right here above. Look for the video with that picture to get the rules on how you can win the Kate Spade Hayden Run Wild Collection bag with matching wallet. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so that you're updated every time I go live or upload a new video. So let's just jump right in. So on March 28th, 2019, Poshmark posted an announcement in the news feed, as usual, where they post any new information at the very top. And it's a letter from the CEO talking about tax remittance. So I'm going to read the letter to you guys in case you missed it, so you know exactly what it says and exactly what's going on. I'll put a picture up on the screen as well so you can check it out. Clearly it's going to be too small to read, but at least you'll know what it looks like. It says, a letter from the CEO. As you may have heard, new laws have been enacted that require Marketplace to collect sales tax on all eligible orders. This means that Poshmark is required or may be otherwise obligated to collect sales tax on sales and submit these taxes directly to states and localities. To simplify sales tax for our community, we created Posh Remit, one of the first countrywide tax remittance services. Posh Remit is an innovative, hassle-free service that collects state and local sales tax, collects it from the shopper, and submits the appropriate amount to the state on behalf of our seller stylist. So you can focus on your business, not your taxes. This allows Poshers to continue to reach shoppers across the United States while at the same time supporting their local community directly. Starting in April, Posh Remit will begin collecting and submitting sales tax on all taxable orders, and we've updated our terms of service effective as of March 28th to reflect these changes. Seller stylists are quickly becoming the next generation of retailers, and we're committed to continue to scale our services to make it easy for everyone to run and grow their own business on Poshmark. Because it is highlighted in blue that says check out the terms of service, I also want to go over that with you guys so you can kind of know how the terms of service has changed for sellers, and then I'll go a little bit into what it'll look like for buyers. So you get to the terms of service, it's quite long, but if you scroll up to the section that reads Marketplace Collection, Taxes, Commissions, Seller Responsibilities, it has two paragraphs here. So bear with me, guys, because I want to make sure you get this, because most of us are not looking this up or reading it. I'll also post it on the screen. It says Poshmark will collect taxes from buyers on behalf of sellers where we may legally do so. This includes those states that have enacted legislation that requires marketplaces like Poshmark to collect taxes on behalf of sellers. It also includes those states that have agreed to allow Poshmark to collect taxes on behalf of the seller. In these states, the amount of taxes collected will be submitted by Poshmark to the appropriate taxing authority on behalf of the seller. If Poshmark is unable to submit taxes on behalf of the seller, Poshmark will provide sellers with the amount of taxes collected. Sellers are responsible for submitting such taxes to the appropriate taxing authority. Sellers are responsible for paying Poshmark commissions as well as the taxes imposed or measured by sellers, net income, net profit, income, profit, and or revenues associated with the sale of any item through the service. So kind of what I want to point out here is in the letter from the CEO that was in the news feed. Basically sounded like, we'll take care of it, guys. We got you. But then in the terms of service, which is really the contractual agreement between yourself, a seller, and Poshmark, the company, it says if they cannot, where's the period? It's late, guys. I'm staying up late to do this so I can have it up and ready for you guys to get this information. Okay, so it says, in those states, the amount of tax collected will be submitted by Poshmark to the appropriate taxing authority on behalf of the seller. If Poshmark is unable to submit taxes on behalf of the seller, Poshmark will provide sellers with the amount of taxes collected. Sellers are responsible for submitting such taxes to the appropriate taxing authority. Pause. What? Okay, so you said you were going to do it, but then it says if you can't, you're going to give me, the seller, information regarding the amount of tax collected. That's great. That says, hey, this is how much taxes we've collected for such and such location on your behalf for items that you sold in your closet. Awesome. But then it says sellers are responsible for submitting such taxes to the appropriate taxing authority. What? I'm assuming in good faith that Poshmark is going to send a check to the seller. So then the seller is responsible for remitting that tax payment to then the said authority that Poshmark was unable to remit it to. Poshmark is a pretty decent company from what we know, right? They try to do the right thing, and all the times that I have been aware of and been in partnership with them. So I'm assuming they're going to stroke you a check for the taxes they collected. You're going to figure out as a seller how to get that remitted to the appropriate authority for the sales tax that were collected on your behalf that they were unable to submit to the proper authority. So what that looks like for buyers, because some people just buy and some of us sellers are buyers also. It states that it will just show when you go to buy. So when you go in to purchase an item, whether it's through the buy now button or the bundle where you put your items together in a basket, cart, whatever you want to call it, and then hit the buy now, it will show how much your items cost. It'll show the sales tax and then the shipping and then the total. And then if you're comfortable with that, you'll hit the button again that accepts the order and it'll be shipped out to you. So for on the buyer side, you'll just see an additional line that has the sales tax on it that's appropriate to the location that you live in, your state. I have to say, reading the letter from the CEO and going through the terms of service, other than that tweak, are you just going to send me a form that says how much money you collected, or you're going to stroke me a check and then I figure out how to do it? It's pretty straightforward. It lets you know exactly what's going to happen. And I have to say, I commend Poshmark for going ahead and taking that responsibility on, and even stating in the letter, you know, us seller stylists are really the future of retail. We just happen to use their platform to get it done, which of course they make money on. So they were smart to go ahead and take care of their sellers to make sure that the sellers continue to use their platform. For them to be such a new company and to see that and to make sure they put it in place and did what they needed to do to make it simple for the seller, I commend them for that. There are bigger platforms out there that are not doing that. They haven't made a decision yet. And the ones that are moving toward that, they haven't even included the entire continental USA yet. Like, they're only doing certain states for sellers, and then sellers are stuck figuring it out for all the other states they're not doing yet. And so that can be a headache and a hassle and a stress for a seller, especially when you're selling large volume like some sellers are, and you're trying to figure out, how do I take this taxes? What do I do? How do I make it work so you don't have any IRS issues? So thank you, Poshmark, for coming out with that information. I'm sure so many Poshers are totally stoked about it. I know that sellers are totally excited. Speaking from a buyer, womp, womp, womp. I don't really want to pay taxes, but that has nothing to do with Poshmark. You know, that's IRS as a whole. You know, all of us have to do it. And to be honest, we've really been able to utilize online purchasing without having to pay that tax for so long So it really does take that tax money to better our communities. So, you know, we'll bite the bullet. We'll still be shopping. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew the 4-in-1, what's going on with the Posh Remit, the new feature that's going to be rolling out right here in April, a couple days away. So when you see it as a buyer pop up, you're not surprised. Or when you're selling, you know that Posh has got your back and they're taking care of that sales tax for you. So the question to slay today is, how excited on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're a seller, are you to know that Poshmark is taking care of it with Posh Remit, 10 being the most excited, 1 being the least excited? Or if you're a buyer, how do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10, now knowing there'll be an additional line that has sales tax? Again, 10 being happy, enthusiastic, you're very excited about it, or 1 being the womp womp womp. So leave your comments down below and I'll talk to you.